This tutorial is for 5th grade, Module 6, Lesson 9. In this lesson, we're going to look at patterns between the x and y coordinates for lines on a graph. I have a graph and I have a table. The table is giving me a rule to follow to create coordinates that we can then plot on our graph to make a line. The rule says that the y coordinate will be one more than the x coordinate. You can see for the first point, the x-coordinate is 1. That means that y will be 2 because the y is going to be 1 more than the x. So the ordered pair would be 1, 2. The next point has an x-coordinate of 5. So y would be 6, and the coordinate pair would be 5, 6. My next point has an x of 9. 1 more than 9 is 10. So the pair would be 9, 10. And my last point has an x of 10, so the y would be 11, and that pair would be 10, 11. Now I'm going to plot these points on my graph. So I'll go over 1, up 2, over 5, up 6, over 9, up 10, and over 10, up 11. Next, I'm going to connect the points to make a line, and I'll call that line A. Now I have a new line, line B. The rule for line B is that y will be 4 more than x. So my first point, the x is 0, so the y would be 4. We have an ordered pair of 0, 4. The next point, the x is 3. 4 more than 3 is 7, so that pair will be 3, 7. The next point, the x is 5, so the y is 9. So that gives me 5, 9. And my last point, the x is 7. 4 more than 7 is 11. So that gives me 7, 11. And I will go ahead and plot those points on my graph as well. So the first point is over 0, so I don't move over, I just go up 4 and put a point there. Next is 3, 7, so I'll go over 3, up 7. The next point is 5, 9, so I'll go over 5 and up 9. And the last point is 7, 11. I'll go over 7 and up 11. And I will connect those points to make line B. In the next section, I have a table for line C, but before I create the line for C, I'm going to make some predictions. The directions say that based on the patterns, predict what line C, whose rule is that y is 7 more than x, would look like. So you can see on our table that this is the rule. Y is going to be 7 more than x. So we're going to make some predictions about what line C will look like. The first prediction says, I predict line C will be either above or below lines A and B. Well, the pattern for line A was that y was 1 more than x. The pattern for B was that y was 4 more than x. Since the difference between the y and the x increased on line B ended up above line A on the graph. Well, in line C, since y is 7 more than the x, I'm going to predict that line C will be even further up on the graph. So it will be above lines A and B. The next prediction says, I predict line C will be parallel or perpendicular to lines A and B. Well, we're seeing a pattern then that when y is a certain number greater than x, in each case, for both lines A and B, those lines were parallel. So I'm going to predict that line C will also be parallel. Now let's fill in our table and plot those points to see about those predictions. So my first point is 0. 7 more than 0 is 7. So that will be 0, 7. The second x-coordinate is 1. So the y will be 8. That's 1, 8. The next point has an x of 2. So the y will be 9. So that will be 2, 9. And the last one has an x of 3. So the y would be 10. So that's 3, 10. I'll go ahead and plot those points. So we have 0, 7. And then 1, 8. So go over 1, up 8. 2, 9. So go over 2 and up 9. And 3, 10. So we'll go over 3 and up 10. And I will connect those points to make line C. And you can see that line C is above lines A and B, and it is also parallel to those lines. And that shows us that by looking at patterns on our coordinate graph tables, we can predict what the lines will look like on the coordinate plane.